power system. That way the phone's not going to die. But no, the fat, I have actually used it cooked in the side beside the Maiden's one before. I actually won't use it with mine. Okay? Just to be clear, I will not use it on my steak. But, okay, let's do a little bit of explanation here. So, the ladies were saying that they like it blue and medium rare. So they like it quite soft, shall we say, ridiculously soft. I actually don't like my steak that way. I know it's heresy. I like my steak medium well. Not shoe leather, Pawnee, I'm pointing at you. Not shoe leather, but I like it medium well. So basically the pink is gone from the middle.
I have changed. I'm not blue no more.
True.
I like a little pink.
Yeah, you're more medium well now rather than blue. However, the way that I prep a steak makes it much softer. So that's kind of the you'll see in a second here. I have a way that I actually prep it. That's the reason I do that, is to make the steak that much softer when it comes out the other end. Okay?
We have a ton of comments for you here.
Go for it.
Mr. Okram, if it doesn't have the marbling, it ain't got no feeling. Ismac, as somebody who is a bit of a steak connoisseur, I'm going to be judging Aces so much with this.
That's fine.
Ismac, I feel the future of our friendship depends on this stream.
Well, then, Pawnee, do you have your steak there to cook along the side of mine? Come on.
Machine Gun, I'm German. What TF is blue mean? Blue is pretty much raw, just slapped on the grill like for half a minute each side and then done.
Yeah. Basically warmed.
Yeah. The outside should be just that little bit crispy and the inside should be like a purplish red.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, it's the equivalent of seared.
Yeah.
What they used to call seared. They're not allowed to do it in restaurants anymore. For safety reasons, because too many people don't know how to do it properly.
Ismac, I like my steak medium. Well, R.I.P. our friendship.
I don't mind medium. But I prefer it. If I'm cooking it, I will cook it to medium well. Anyways, let's go down here to the steaks, and I'll show you how I prep them.
Oh, Darth Jangles says sup.
Hey, good day, sir. So, this is my steak. This is the maiden steak. I prep them the same way regardless, because even though hers is going to be softer, it's not going to make any difference. So, we just do very subtle slices across the top. Now, this is a very sharp knife. Very sharp knife. So, even though they're very subtle, the slices are still going in by 1/4 of an inch. Okay? And then we go 90 degrees to them. And you can see how much that's opened up the steak. That's going to let the flavoring that we cook with it seep into the meat easier. It's going to make the steak that much softer after it's been cooked. Let me just wash my hands quickly here. I like working with my hands dirty.
But with cow's meat, you can do it quite rare without being an issue. That's right, yeah. Machine gun.
Fair enough.
Dingo
Sorry.
OG says, hi, Phil.
Hey, Dingo. Sorry, I don't like working with knives when my hands are covered and stuff, so I always wash my hands again each time. And we do the same on the backside. Maybe not as deep, not as perfect. Don't really worry too much. It doesn't have to be perfect. The point is just to have that cross. And that will make a huge difference in how tender that steak is. Even if I cook it medium well, you will still find the steak is actually quite tender. Mine, you're noticing, I'm actually doing the slices a little bit closer to make it that extra amount more tender when it's finished. For lack of a better term, this is artificially softening the steak.
Machine Gun wants to know, is it true that it's hard to find great meat in America?
No, I look at myself in the mirror every day. No, sorry, I apologize. You left it open. You left that one open. No, well, I don't know about in America for starters, Mew. I'm in Canada. In Canada, it's very easy to find good meats. We have some of the best butchers on this side of the pond. So, there we go. Once again, that one. Hashed out in cubes.
That's gorgeous.
And, I mean, you'll find that this will be ridiculously soft because of all this cutting. It's even softer than it was before. You don't have to actually sit there and beat the crap out of it with a mallet or any of that type of stuff. Just doing those slices will do the job. Now, keep in mind, like I said, this knife is ridiculously soft, which is why I was able to just... Or ridiculously sharp, rather. Which is why I was able to just barely slice across the top, and it was cutting into it. And, like I said, it's the knife that's doing that. You have to decide how much pressure you need to use based upon your utensils. So, here we go.
And yeah, Morgie TV,
Actually,
you basically flat iron the steak quickly.
Yeah, pretty much. Before I do that, we're going to grab a little bit of vegetable oil. Helps transfer the heat.
Big Mart 302. Hey Phil, long time no see.
Hey, Big Mart, how's it going, man? So, a little bit of vegetable oil.
Mr. Okram, play games in the Oceanic?
Play games in the Oceanic, what do you mean?
I have no idea.
Okay, you gotta give me a bit more reference there, man. Anyways, so like I said, it's barely any vegetable oil. If anything, I've put too much in that one. Okay? It's just enough to cover the bottom. By the way, these pans are fantastic.
We've got them at home too. They're great.
Now, all I've done to start off, I've put the burners on low, which is what, I've got them on 2, so 1/4 of the way around the dial. Think of it in terms of that. It's just to warm up the bottom of the plate, allow the oil to get a little bit leaner, and it'll allow you to make sure that the whole bottom of the pan is covered before you put the steak in. Already, this oil is acting much more like water, so it's allowing it to cover the pan a bit better.
Morgie, I thought that oil was milk.
No. Our milk comes in a bag.
Big Mart, not too bad, my friend. Just thought I'd pop in and say hey.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Big Mart. Good to see you.
The Oceanic is a fight sim community from about 2014. Aces knows about him, but I think he will have forgotten.
Probably, yeah. No, I don't work in any of those anymore. So there we go. That whole bottom of that is covered. Basically, we've just moved it around, and because we've warmed the thing on the bottom, that one's ready for its steak. And that one will be... So we'll do the maidens in that one.
Amy, if you'd had only one object, not a knife, out of the kitchen to protect yourself in a zombie occurring apocalypse, what object would that be? Meat tenderizer. Well, yeah.
What
Good
in
head
my
wound.
hand? In my hand is what you would use.
I like the meat tenderizer better.
Fair enough.
More accurate.
I don't think I have one. I figured you'd go with a rolling pin, to be honest.
No, they're too easy to lose the handles on. Yeah. I've lost the handles on 2 already.
Fair enough. So, there we go. My steak is ready to go in.
Dingo says he salts his steaks.
Fair enough. Well, we'll be putting in some spices, so you'll get the salts in that way. The maiden doesn't like any spice on hers. She wants it... Do you want me to use some spice on hers? No. Do you want me to use... Onions, yeah, okay. So we'll be putting some other stuff on it, so don't worry about that. But yeah, I put salts in my spicing, actually goes on.
Doc Wolf says y'all should try goat's milk. It's pretty good.
Goat's milk? I think I actually have tried it, to be fair. I don't know off the top of my head, though.
Mew says, "Oh my god, I'm so loving this cooking show. It's so wholesome. I'm eating some cereal and I'd like to get some steak, but someday I'll cook along." And of course, that's my alarm. Maiden, can you shut that off? That's to tell me to give my son his pills.
Thank you. Okay, so I put Montreal steak spice. Just a little bit. There we go. And rosemary. And previously, that's all I had used on my steak. Just that. Now, however, we do put more stuff on to vary the flavor a little bit more. But you could stop right now and it would be fine. So now we're going to change the temperatures. Now, as we said before, the maiden likes her steak done a little bit less than mine. So I set hers to 5, basically halfway on the dial. Mine, however, I set between 6 and 7 because I want it to cook at a higher temperature. That's just coming from experience that I've found that if I cook hers on 5, mine on about 6, 7, they end up roughly being done around the same time.
Mr. Okram, my steak pan has a lid. The pan gets no mercy. The steak gets distributed at full heat, but the house is protected by the lid and it keeps in the smoke.
Ah. So, these you may remember if you were here for yesterday's cooking stream. We did a lot of prep work yesterday for the stir fry that we're actually going to benefit from today. So these are the stalks of the green onions from yesterday. These are the ones that we threw in right at the very start of the stir fry because they're much more intense and thus you need more time for them to soften and to disseminate their flavor throughout the meal. So we'll start with some of these. We're not putting a lot of them on because they are so strong. And when they get put down into the oils, by then they'll have softened up even more.
Mew, but you don't turn on the heat plates while the pan is on there, right? If so, I'm seriously calling the police right now.
The heat on the hot plates? What hot plates?
Yeah, heat plates, as in the elements.
Well, once I've put the pots on, then I turn them on, yes. They were on very low initially when there was just oil in there. But I don't turn them on with nothing cooking, if that's what you're insinuating.
Mr. Okram, I cannot accept this travesty of food preparation. Your steaks are in the pan with no heat. We need to have words.
There was a little bit of heat. They were on low still when the steaks went in. Okay? They didn't go in cold. Not only that, but because of the way that we had already scored them, we've softened them up. A lot of the issue of putting a steak in cold into the pan is it causes a tensile increase on the outside of the steak. That doesn't happen because we've done that scoring.
Colesville, do you have a vegan option? No.
One of these days I may make a vegan dish, but I'm a carnivore. This is pushing it.
Is back. Where's my Psyduck emote when I need it?
So, this is the diced mushroom from yesterday. Already just diced up nice and small.
Mew, because the high heat sears the outside so that the fat stays in the meat outside.
Ah, okay. Yeah, no,
No.
I get what you're saying. No, I don't cook them that way, Mew.
Doc Wolf, I gotta sleep because it's 1 a.m. It's nice seeing you again, Aces. Gotta do cough one day.
No worries, Dark Wolf, no worries. Have a good sleep, man. We'll catch you next time. I actually don't have Arma installed right now, so I couldn't play cough even if I wanted to. But, yeah, no, it'll happen again in the future.
Mew says backseat cooking.
Well, there's always one. 2 when Pawnee's present. Okay, the other thing we have is the sliced mushrooms. As you recall, some of those stuffed mushrooms at the end, we just slice them up instead. And that will be because the maiden likes her mushrooms. So I'm going to fry up some mushrooms on the side to go with her steak.
Good night, Duck Wolf. Steak. I wasn't hungry before, now I am.
I'm sure some of my audience is thinking the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want the fat in with your steak or no? Yes? Okay. Not that piece, apparently. Okay.
Mr. Okram is backseat cooking for you.
Fair enough. Those are the pieces of fat left over that I cut off of my steak.
Sear and rest. This is the new way. The internal temperature must reach 63 degrees, but when it is reached slowly, it is true that the flavors of the sauces will come forward. But this is a steak, and you will be sat down for a talking to. Colesville, why do you got a hole in the wall next to you?
It's not a hole, actually. It's just the paint.
Benny.
It was painted sometime in the 50s. No, it's just old paint, and I don't see any reason to bother fixing it right now. When I sell the place, maybe I'll fix it. Like I'll repaint it at that point. At this point, it's not worth it.
Mew. By the way, I absolutely hate vegetables as well, but there's a really great mushroom schnitzel that I make. It's so insanely good.
Sounds good, Mew. You need to stream it. I'll watch.
Colesville, why orange? Why not orange?
No, this isn't orange. This is brown.
It's some horrible color that has no name.
Yeah, no.
Should have seen the basement.
Yeah.
Eggplant.
The basement was done in eggplant color.
I like eggplant.
Not for a basement. Too dark.
Mew says he'll give you the recipe someday.
Sounds good. Mew is a girl.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Mew.
Actually, a woman. I apologize. She is a female. Female. Sorry, I can't hear that term without thinking of the Ferengi.
Mew agrees with me on the eggplant. Ooh, he's getting out the butter. That's always good. Davalon, it's the color that will not be mentioned.
It's the color that is TOS. That's what it is.
Pretty much. Oh my god, the smell in here is fantastic.
Yeah.
Colesville wants to know who your favorite Doctor Who is.
Sorry, who does?
Colesville.
Colesville, my favorite Doctor Who, 100% David Tennant. Not even close.
Oh, come on. Matt Smith? A little bit?
Matt Smith was okay. He's definitely not. He's probably 3. I'll be honest.
Really?
Baker is 2.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Dingo, I like machine guns. Machine guns aren't really a Canadian thing so much. That's the neighbors downstairs.
Yeah, south of the border.
There's my weird laugh again. Huh.
Okay, I believe.
Who is the female? I is a FraidyAmy.
Yes, this is my friend FraidyAmy.
I am crocheting on the couch.
Yes, the maiden is in the background for commentary.
Mew, if I had to pick any color, probably purple or like an eggplant purple. Honestly.
We'll start with mine, and of course these tongs are catching. Already you can see what I mean about the fact that the scoring has helped it to relax. So it hasn't maintained that hard tension on the outside.
Mr. Okram, can I come over and make you a real steak? The sauce is the veg. The accompaniment will arrive to be friends with your fine steaks when they have their own space to develop. But the beef needs more respect to be encouraged in the way it gives up the flavors. Hashtag my own sarcastic creation.
I'm not opposed to it. I mean, the way that I cook steak is something that I've done over the past few years, and I've found a way that I personally like, but it's down to how I personally like it. It is not how other people always like it.
Yeah, I learned to accept it.
Yes, the maiden has learned to accept it. This is a little bit of crushed garlic. But it's not too strong because it's dehydrated. Freshly freeze-dried crushed garlic. Because it's dehydrated, it's not going to overpower the steak. It'll just be an accent flavor. Even though, like, the amount that I put on is what I mean. It's not going to overpower the steak. If we were cooking it, for instance, we used it yesterday in the stir-fry. That is going to be hydrated while it's moving around inside the sauce, and as a result, its flavor is going to be stronger, more potent. You're not going to get it in this instance.
Dingo said, solid sear, better be pink in the middle.
No, I don't like it pink in the middle.
I like it pink in the middle.
Yeah, you got to remember, guys, different people like it different ways. No one says you have to cook it to the extent that I cook it. Right now, I'm just melting the butter in around on the pot before I throw the mushrooms on it. Notice I flipped mine, but I haven't flipped the maiden's yet.
Colezil, am I married? Yes. Is Max. Somebody call the RSPCS, the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Steak.
Pawnee, you are such a shit disturber.
Mr. Okram, hashtag unsubscribe for not fresh garlic.
I'm sorry, but I don't have time for that kind of stuff.
Actually, it tastes really good, the freeze-dried stuff.
Yeah, this stuff is remarkably good. I highly recommend it. I honestly do. I've had fresh garlic, yes, but I highly recommend that.
Mew, no, do it our way, Aces. Our way is the right way. All people are the same, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, but every single one in there that's giving me different advice, I have to follow all of their opinions.
Yep. That's the way it's gonna go.
I don't cook.
Ismac, I am legitimately not shit-stirring. I'm legitimately concerned as to your skills in the kitchen and the fact that they let you have a sharp knife. Oh, Cole! Harsh, man! Why don't you cook it in the microwave? Dude! Mew, okay, some more backseat cooking, but butter just burns if you have it in the pan for longer than 5 minutes. It's not burning.
It's literally on, look at how low it is on the burner. Low to high. It's literally just adding heat. It is not burning anything. That's why all it is melting. Hell, it would melt faster if it was against my hand.
Aces, Mr. Okram, you must realize that fresh ramsons will make you the sexiest chef on earth. Everyone needs to eat wild garlic.
I see.
This smells so good.
I let the results of my cooking speak for themselves, and to hell with you all.
Everybody's a critic.
Especially when they're not here to actually eat it themselves.
Mr. Okram, I can bloody smell it.
Okay, so now we turn that up, going up to 7 on the mushrooms, so it can be much hotter, and it'll heat up right now and we'll be good.
Mew, I love how Aces is trying to be the Bob Ross of cooking, and we're like Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
Damn!
Mr. Okram, it smells amazing.
There we go. A little bit more spring onion. Spring onion leaves, not the stalks. We've already finished with the stalks. You always want to use the leaves at the end. We have enough stalks and leaves for another stir fry if we do it tomorrow, so, or whenever we do a stir fry. Yes, I'm actually getting some of my own salad.
Mew, I'm sure it's yummy, but don't hate a sister for jealous food shaming.
I don't take offense from anybody, it's fine.
Mr. Okram, I'm falling apart with the desire for juicy offerings. My inner Viking demands juices.
I'm not gonna comment.
Yeah, I've got to keep my mouth shut on this one.
Okay. Those will be nice. We just let that heat up. The maiden steak is sizzling nicely.
Dingo says, I found Veterans Outdoor Group and they give away fishing and hunting trips for free. I was lucky enough to win a fishing charter on my first day in the group and we caught a ton of fish.
Nice. That's something I haven't prepared in a long time, is fish.
Mew wants to know if you like fish.
Yes and no. Most lake fish I don't like. The haddock and cod and things like that, I've had them and they're okay. They're not like something that I jump at by any means. However, the only exception to the first rule is muskie. I actually really like muskie. Specifically, you need to marinate it in salt water for a couple hours before you eat it. Or before you cook it, rather. That's one thing I have found. Muskies taste really good as long as it's marinated beforehand. But generally, I don't tend to eat much fish.
Mr. Mistake asks, where's the beer?
I actually can't drink beer. I don't know what it is that I have difficulty with, but I cannot drink beer. One beer will make me sick to my stomach. I can drink vodka like a fish, but beer, no.
Colesville says that's a mighty booze corner.
Tis. That would be the maiden's influence.
I don't think so. There's not enough wine there.
Yeah, I know. Notice how most of the butter at this point has actually gone away.
Soaking into the mushrooms, yeah.
It's absorbed into the mushrooms. If anything, we could have used more butter. I do, however, have this for me. Which, if you would like one, we have one as well.
Ooh. I like a cookie.
Okay.
Amy, if you would have to remove a part of your cutlery forever, spoon, fork, knife, which one would you remove? Probably knife, because I can cut everything with a fork anyway.
I would actually probably get rid of the fork, but that's because I've got...
Do you have sporks? He has sporks. Mr. Okram, oh, lake fish is amazing. Fry a pike and be amazed.
I've never had pike. Pardon?
I don't like fish.
Fair enough.
Dingo, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I've never actually had pike, so I don't know.
Dingo, I live on the coast, so I get to do a lot of salt water fishing. I like taking my kayak offshore for 3 to 5 miles.
Nice.
I would love to do that.
That sounds amazing. Perch and Xander are good eating too. Hashtag spork. Diavalon wants to know was that Smirnoff Ice?
Oh, well, you've got one there.
Yep, Smirnoff Ice Raspberry, which is totally the bomb.
Yep. Because that's the thing. I can't drink beer, but I can drink vodka like a fish. So Smirnoff Ice is good. I used to prefer the citrus ones, but they do a number on my stomach now.
Mew wants to know if you like sweet things, apples, chocolate, etc.
I have nearly hit 4 digits at Bulk Barn.
So much candy. So much.
There's a reason they call me a big kid. And I am still a problem in the cereal aisle.
Colzo wants to know if the booze corner is how you keep the missus in order.
No. That's how you keep her out of order.
Sporks are cheating aces.
No, they're just an efficient use of cupboard space. Or drawer space.
Dingo, it's great. Catching sharks off a kayak is a great time. Mr. Okram, carp is the finest lake fish, delicate and succulent.
Carp?
Yeah.
I'm very surprised. Carp is a bottom feeder, usually considered a dumpster fish. I've never heard that.
Davalon, I haven't tried the raspberry yet, but I do prefer the Smirnoff iced lemon. So tasty.
Yeah, so I like the iced lemon, but as I was saying, the citrus one unfortunately hasn't been sitting well lately, so I've kind of stopped having it. So at this point we kind of gather up the stuff that's fallen off the steak. If we can, put it up on top. My steak is almost finished. Her steak is just about done as well.
Mew, okay, I take this as a yes. I'm fructose intolerant. Can't eat all fruits and most snacks like chocolate, ice cream, etc.
Oh,
Even some vegetables are too sweet. That's probably why I'm a carnivore like you.
Fair enough, yeah.
Dingo, maybe I should abandon the whiskey and beer to Smirnoff and White Claws. Mr. Okram, carp takes on the character of the place it lives. A good lake makes a good fine fish.
Huh?
Yeah, our lake is not so great.
Yeah. Which is probably why I've always been told don't eat the carp from here.
Yeah.
Although it's been better since the zebra mussels came through and died off.
Mr. Mistake, I'm sorry, but here in Sweden I put that thing on the barbecue.
No, fair enough. I mean, I've cooked them on the barbecue before. It's just, it's a lot easier to stream inside than out on the barbecue. Okay. I believe our foods are ready. There
Oh, that's pretty. Nice. Mew, okay, now you should put a piece of butter in it and continuously shower the meat with a spoon, holding the pan at an angle.
Yes and no. That's one way of doing it.
Dingo wants to know, way out of left field, but does anyone in chat still play DayZ?
I do occasionally, actually.
The Avalon smoked bass is awesome as well.
So, I'm going to take the rest of this.
Mew says, but seriously though, all Corona aside, I want to come eat with you guys.
Hell yeah! Most definitely, Mew. Most definitely. If you're ever on this side of the pond, just let me know.
Cheney says hello.
Hello! Once again, so we've taken all of the excess from both steaks put them in here with the mushrooms.
Colesville says, nice pair of melons on the counter.
Thank you. You should see the ones off the counter.
HellBF, miss your streams, Aces.
Thank you, sir. I do miss streaming. I genuinely do. Unfortunately, I don't really have the time in the day anymore to do it. So that's part of the reason why we switched to doing cooking streams, because I can get them done, you know, knocked out hour and a half while I'm already making food.
Ismac, man, harsh. The cow likely had such a sad life, and having been butchered a second time is now going to have a sad death. Dude, cold.
You're terrible, Ismac. Terrible.
Nice one.
Don't you promote it.
Oops.
Now, the mushrooms probably could have been cooked a little bit longer, but I want them to come out at about the same time as the steaks, so they're good, they're done, but because they were so much thicker and larger than I normally do, they haven't cooked up as much as I was expecting. Let's take a look.
So in other words, they're perfect.
Apparently. A little bit of the juice on top of the steak. And that, as they say, is that. Now I still have my salad, which I prepared at the start, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to eat it, so instead I'll eat it on the side of my steak. But the Maiden's is good and ready, rather. I do English. You've got a fork, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Ismac says, Maiden has my back.
Hell yeah! Stay spiffy.
So I'm going to go deliver this one here. One last look at this one before I deliver it to the Maiden.
That looks purty.
In fact,
Don't forget my HP.
I won't. Let's see if I can do this without flipping it.
Still pink in the middle.
Mm-hmm. So that's basically medium. I could have taken it off one turn earlier and it would have been about where the Maiden prefers it, but I have difficulty cooking so little.
Ismac, whoa, HP sauce with steak? Please take back those heretical words, Maiden.
I would have gone A1, but we don't have any.
Mm-hmm.
To think we were friends, sob.
Sorry, dude.
Mew says, okay, then have a great meal, Aces. It was amazing to see you again, man, and you seem really balanced. I really, really missed you, man.
Thank you very much, Mew. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to be around a bit more. Sorry, I'm just eating some salad because it's really good. I'm hoping to continue the cooking streams. They may not be every night as they've been for the past couple, but I think I'm going to try and get them at least a couple out a week. I have been posting on Twitter beforehand to try and give you guys a heads up when I'm going to be streaming, what I'm going to be cooking, and I try and give you a list of ingredients as well. That way, if you do want to stream along, or sorry, if you do want to cook along to the stream, you'll be able to have the time to go out and get the components yourself or make sure that you've got what you need. Okay?
Dingo, fair winds and following seas to everyone. Colesville, can we see the missus? No. Short answer.
Short answer, no. The Maiden does not come on camera.
When did I become the missus?
Yeah, so the long answer is that she's not the missus. That is the Maiden of Coffee, which is a friend of mine that rents the apartment downstairs. Behind the camera is FraidyAmy, who's another friend of mine who's come over to camera for me. First off, just to be clear, it is perfectly fine. Okay? I'm fine. I am choking on a piece of sweet pea but I'm fine. The missus, my wife passed away a couple of years ago, so I don't have a missus anymore. I have good friends, and that's where we go. But once again, it's okay. Anyways, that's it for tonight. Let's get ourselves to try this steak, because I have been waiting. The salad came out really good. Let's see how the steak turned out. So there's a bit of fat in that section. We'll put it off to the side for now. Bear in mind, I prefer my steak medium well. Well, that's medium well. But look at how fast that goes through it. So there is no real strength to it anymore. Even though it's medium well, it is still soft. And yeah.
Ismac says he wouldn't put it past you to overcook your salad. Ismac, you're terrible. Ooh, steak.
See?
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's medium well. And she likes rare. Still soft, isn't it?
It is.
And that's because of that prep method that we use at the start. Scoring the surface. It's amazing how much of a difference that makes to the end result of the steak.
And the mushrooms add amazing.
Mr. Okram says, you have good people. This is evident.
Mm-hmm. I definitely do.
Ismac, oh my God, what have you done to that poor cat?
Ismac, I'm going to borrow a line from the maiden. Read between the lines.
Mew, you got a family, man, and the world would be a much duller place without your laugh.
Oh, thank you very much, dude. Thank you very much, Mew. Thank you. Anyways, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That has been our stream. We still have some mushrooms left over.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Do you want me to throw these in and cook them? You should see the eyes that I am getting. Like, if you don't, I'm going to kill you.
I know where you sleep.
Yeah. Okay, well, fine, fair enough. I will cook these up, but I'm not going to cook these up on stream because I'm just going to throw them in and start them. They're just like anything else that we've been cooking tonight. I've turned the heat back on. I'll throw some more butter in. And we'll cook up the rest of the mushrooms because apparently it's required for my health.
Colzo wants to know what's for dessert.
I actually don't have a dessert planned.
Wrong.
But
I feel like rum is the answer.
I do have that.
Ooh, I like a cookie.
Oh, it's so good.
And it is ridiculously good. And yes, you are welcome to have some.
Woohoo!
So, we have our dessert. But yeah, it's supposed to be kept in the freezer, and then basically you thaw out as much as you need each time.
As you can see, it's already half gone.
It hath been enjoyed so far. It's actually quite a strong lemon, which I really like in a cake and things. So, we have our dessert, don't worry. But these things can go over there, because they need to be cleaned. That's it. I need some more butter. Should have just told me to throw them all in.
Chat is toxic, Dingo says.
Oh, really?
Is Max still talking smack?
Is Max always talking smack?
For dessert, something that doesn't involve cooking, please, I beg you. Mr. Okram, we love you, Aces.
Despite Tawny's comments, we love you.
Mew says, yeah, we love you.
Thank you very much, everybody. And I hope you guys have enjoyed tonight's stream. as we've been apparently butchering a steak, but I thought we did pretty good. Ended up being incredibly nice and tender, which is exactly what we go for. And considering how fast the maiden is devouring hers, I would say we did pretty well with that one too. So, anyways, that's going to be the end for tonight's stream. I believe tomorrow night, I don't know what I'm going to be cooking. I want to do a wine sauce in the near future.
Ooh.
Which the Amy is, of course, able to come if she wishes. As to what we have with the wine sauce, I have no idea, so we'll see on that regard. But the wine sauce is, it's a meal on its own. It's fantastic. But yeah, so that's coming in the future. As to whether we're going to be streaming tomorrow night, I do not know. Tomorrow I apparently have a bunch of heavy lifting activities that I have to go down and do at my sister's rental apartment. I may not be in any shape to do a stream tomorrow, so I can't guarantee that. But I'm hoping to do at least one this weekend. Regardless of that, I will post on my Twitter when I go to do it, so please make sure that you go and follow me on Twitter, and you'll know when I get a chance to come out and do the stream. Tonight we started at 5:30 Eastern. I think that's about a good time for us to start. Basically, we've been eating at basically 6:30, so that's a good setup. We could always start at 5. If you guys can give me a little bit of feedback, let me know when would be better for you guys, for me to cook, so that if you are able to join in, if you want to join in, rather, you're able to join in. I know for those of you who are over in Europe, that's not really going to work for you. It only really works for people who are here in North America. But regardless, thank you all very much for tuning in. Have yourself an absolutely fantastic evening, and we'll hope to see you again soon. Thank you, and goodbye.